All the videos in this channel are viewer suggested, and a lot of viewers have requested testing ratchet straps. We have a bunch of different brands to test today, with the least expensive brand only costing $2.25 and the most expensive brand costing more than 5 times that much. Let's get the testing underway and see if the least expensive brand is just as good as the most expensive one. In the first test, we'll see which brand does the best job resisting failure from sharp objects. Then we'll see which one is the strongest. We'll also see which one can handle friction the best. Finally, we'll see which one releases the easiest and which one needs help from Cousin Eddie. At a price of only $9 for 4 ratchet straps, or $2.25 each, is this Husky brand. All the ratchet tie downs we'll be testing are 1 inch. 500-pound working load per strap, we're going to test that. 1,500 pounds braking strength, we're going to test that too. The Husky brand is made in China. Thread the webbing into slotted spool. Adjust the webbing length. Lift and lower the ratchet handle. Lock ratchet. Release instructions. Pull back on the release tab. Unlock the ratchet. Pull out the webbing. Since the length of the strap varies by each brand, let's compare just the weight of the ratcheting mechanisms. Weight is not a perfect indicator of build quality, but it's definitely worth considering. The Husky brand weighs 317 grams. The strap is 0.86 millimeters by 24.1 millimeters in width. Sometimes the ratcheting mechanism can be very difficult to work with on these ratchet straps. The ratcheting mechanism on the Husky is very smooth. At a price of $12 for 4 ratchet tie downs, or $3 each, is this Hallmaster brand. The Hallmaster brand is sold at Harbor Freight. 400-pound working load. Vinyl covered S-hooks prevent marring on painted surfaces. Plastic grips on handles and release. Weather resistant. The Hallmaster brand is made in China. The Harbor Freight Hallmaster is 78 grams lighter than the Husky at 239 grams. The strap is slightly thinner than the Husky at 0.73 and slightly wider at 27 millimeters. The Hallmaster from Harbor Freight is definitely not as smooth as the Husky. At a price of $15 for 4 ratchet straps, or $3.75 each, is this RPS Outdoors. Work strength 300 pounds. Brake strength 900 pounds. The RPS Outdoors is made in China. At 226 grams, the RPS Outdoors seems even more light duty than the Harbor Freight Hallmaster. The RPS Outdoors is slightly thicker than the Hallmaster at 0.82 millimeters, but not quite as wide at 25.03. The ratcheting mechanism on the RPS Outdoors isn't quite as smooth as the Husky, but it's definitely better than the Hallmaster. At a price of $17 for 4 ratchet straps, or $4.25 each, is this Stanley brand. 500 pounds work strength. 1,500 pounds brake strength. Vinyl coated S-hooks. The Stanley brand is made in China. The Stanley is the second heaviest yet at 266 grams. The Stanley has the thinnest strap at 0.68 millimeters, and the width is nearly the same as the Hallmaster at 27.02. The Stanley and the Husky are both very smooth and are about the same. At a price of $21 for 4 ratchet straps, or $5.25 each, is this Rocket brand. The Rocket Straps brand comes with a lifetime warranty. Rubber-coated steel S-hooks with safety latch. The Rocket Straps brand is made in China. 586 pounds working load. Braking strength 1,760 pounds. The Rocket is the second heaviest at 295 grams. It's tied with the Husky for the thickest at 0.86 millimeters and is 25.27 millimeters wide. The Rocket is very smooth and is just as good as the Husky as well as the Stanley. At a price of $24 for 4 ratchet tie downs, or $6 each, is this Topsky brand. 3,000 pounds brake strength. Indestructible poly blend webbing. We're going to test that. The Topsky brand is made in China. The Topsky is by far the heaviest yet at 465 grams. The strap is also the thickest at 1.27 millimeters and is also the widest at 27.28. The Topsky has a much heavier duty build than the other brands, and it's just about as smooth as the Husky as well as the Stanley. At a price of $25, or $6.25 each, is this Fortem brand. Premium ratchet tie-down straps. 500-pound working load. 1,500 pounds brake strength. The Fortem brand is made in China. The Fortem is the third lightest at 259 grams. The Fortem has a thickness of 0.82 millimeters by 25.56 width. The Fortem just isn't as smooth as some of the other brands, but it's definitely better than the Hallmaster. At a price of $26 for 4 ratchet straps, or $6.50 each, is this Augo brand. Load limit 566 pounds. Brake strength 1,700 pounds. Premium S-hook with rubber-coated safety latch to prevent scratching. The Augo brand is made in China. The Augo is the third heaviest at 307 grams. The Augo is the second thickest at 1 millimeter and is 25.98 millimeters in width. The Augo seems pretty smooth, but not as smooth as the Husky or the Stanley. At a price of $7.50 each, is this NRS brand. Unlike the other brands, this is just a heavy-duty strap and does not include the ratcheting mechanism. 500 pounds working load, 1,500 pounds brake strength. Heavy-duty cam buckle. Dual stainless steel springs. Non-stretch polypropylene. We're going to test that. The NRS brand is made in Taiwan. Definitely not an apples-to-apples comparison, but the NRS weighs 137 grams. It's also the thickest strap at 1.7 millimeters and has a narrowest width at 24 4.15. The advantage of the heavy-duty strap versus the Ratchet strap is that these are extremely light. At a price of $30 for 4 Ratchet straps, or $7.50 each, is this Rhino USA brand. Medium-duty Ratchet tie-down set. However, it comes with a heavy-duty drawstring bag. Working load 607 pounds. Brake strength 1,823 pounds. Rhino USA is designed and engineered in the USA and is made in China. The ratcheting mechanism is very smooth. The Rhino USA is tied with Augo for third heaviest at 307 grams. It has a thickness of 0.83 and a width of 25.43 millimeters. The ratcheting mechanism on the Rhino works just as well as the Husky or the Stanley. And the most expensive brand at $53 for 4 Ratchet tie-downs, or $13.25 each, is this Auto Retract brand. To release the ratcheting mechanism, all you have to do is push down the red button. To retract, you simply push in the red button. The Auto Retract, including both hooks as well as the entire length of the strap, is the heaviest yet at 626 grams. The Auto Retract setup is very smooth and easy to use. The Auto Retract has a thickness of 0.76 millimeters and a width of 25.43. In the next test, we're going to see just how well each of these brands resist corrosion. I'll be using a hydrogen peroxide vinegar and salt mix, which is highly corrosive and will definitely cause these brands to rust if they're not properly protected. We'll check back on this in a couple of days. In the next test, we'll measure the cut resistance of each one of these brands using this test device. I'll install a 5-inch section of each one of the brands inside this test piece holder. I'll install a new razor blade between testing each of the brands. There's a total of 10 pounds attached to these test piece holders, which apply an outward force, making sure that there's equal amount of tension during each of the tests. The Husky brand has a strap thickness of 0.86 millimeters and gave up after just 5 passes. Even though the Harbor Freight Hallmaster has a strap thickness of only 0.7 millimeters, it held up a lot better than the Husky, making it 10 passes. RPS Outdoors has a strap thickness of 0.82 millimeters, which is a little bit thicker than the Hallmaster, but it came apart after only 4 passes. At 0.68 millimeters, the Stanley is the thinnest strap, but it held up pretty well at 7 passes before finally letting go. The Rocket has a strap thickness of 0.86 millimeters and did the best yet at 13 passes, taking the lead from the Hallmaster. The Topsky has a thickness of 1.27 millimeters and is tied with the Hallmaster at 10 passes. Fortem has a strap thickness of 0.82 millimeters, the same as the RPS Outdoors, and the Fortem gave up after 6 passes. And the Augo has a strap thickness of 1 millimeter and did by far the best yet at 18 passes, taking the lead away from the Rocket brand. Very impressive. The NRS is the thickest strap at 1.7 millimeters and gave up after 7 passes. The Rhino USA with a strap thickness of 0.83 is tied with the NRS at 7 passes before finally letting go. With a strap thickness of 0.76 millimeters, the Auto Retract performed very well at 12 passes, moving into 3rd place behind the Rocket. So the Augo came in on top at 18 passes, Rocket 13, Auto Retract 12, Hallmaster and Topsky 10 passes. If you're using Ratchet tie-down straps to secure a load to a cargo trailer, the strap could possibly experience failure from abrasion. I'll be using a belt sander with 80 grit sandpaper along with a 10-pound weight. I'll change out the sandpaper between testing the brands, and we'll see which brand will hold up the longest, beginning with the Husky. Thicker straps didn't always perform better against cuts, so it'll be very interesting to see if it helps with abrasive wear resistance. And the Husky survived 14.9 seconds before completely wearing through. And the Harbor Freight Hallmaster is 0.13 millimeters thinner than the Husky. And the Hallmaster only lasted 7.96 seconds compared to 14.9 seconds for the Husky. RPS Outdoors has a thickness of 0.82 millimeters and performed fairly well at 10.24 seconds, but Husky holds on to the lead. At 0.68 millimeters, the Stanley is the thinnest strap, and it just didn't last as long as the other brands at only 5.82 seconds. The Rocket has a thickness of 0.86 millimeters and moved into 3rd place behind RPS Outdoors with a 9.12 second time. The Topsky, which has a thickness of 1.27 millimeters, performed extremely well and just wouldn't give up. 51 seconds, very impressive. The Fortem, with a thickness of 0.82 millimeters, moved into 3rd place with an 11.45 second time. The Augo, with a thickness of 1 millimeter, performed the best for cut resistance and did a terrific job once again at 20.58 seconds. The Topsky brand holds on to the lead. Even though the NRS is the thickest cable at 1.7 millimeters, it only lasted 10.34 seconds. The Rhino USA has a thickness of 0.83 millimeters and it performed fairly well at 15.1 seconds. With a thickness of 0.76 millimeters, the Auto Retract brand is pretty thin. The sandpaper quickly burned through the strap at only 8.62 seconds. So the Topsky came out on top at 51 seconds, Augo second at 20.58, Rhino 15.1, Husky 14.9, Fortem 11.45, and NRS 10.34 seconds. We're about to destroy a bunch of ratchet straps, and I'm taking a lot of precautions just to be safe. I'll attach one end of the strap to the bottom of the tester and the other end to the weight scale that's connected to a hoist. The test is going to continue until each strap breaks. And the Husky has a brake strength of 1,500 pounds, and it actually beat its rating at 1,533 pounds. And the Husky let go where it attaches to the ratchet. I couldn't find a brake strength rating for the Harbor Freight Haulmaster, and the Haulmaster seems to be stretching quite a bit more than the Husky. It topped out at 1,402 pounds before finally snapping. And the strap on the Harbor Freight Haulmaster just snapped in two. The RPS Outdoors has a brake strength rating of 900 pounds, and the RPS Outdoors far exceeded its rating and let go at 1,423 pounds to move into second place behind the Husky. The strap broke where it wrapped around the drum. Just like the Husky, the Stanley has a brake strength rating of 1,500. The Husky broke at 1,491 pounds. Just like the RPS Outdoors, the strap broke near the drum. The Rocket has a brake strength rating of 1,760 pounds. And the Rocket blasted right past its rating and finally launched at 1,932 pounds, taking the lead from the Husky. Just like the RPS Outdoors and the Stanley, the Rocket also failed in the same location. The Topsky has a 3,000 pound rating, and I'll need a different weight scale, so we'll skip it for now. The Fortem has a 1,500 pound rating, and it easily beat its rating at 1,625 pounds before coming loose. The weak point on the Fortem actually wasn't the strap, but rather the S-hook, which straightened up quite a bit before coming loose. The Augo is rated for 1,700 pounds, and the Augo beat its rating, topping out at 1,781 pounds before finally letting go. Just like several other brands, the Augo broke where the strap wraps around the pulley. The NRS uses a much different design than the other brands, and it let go at 909 pounds. The buckle on the NRS has some very sharp teeth on it, which is where the strap failed. Rhino USA is rated for 1,823 pounds, and it exceeded its rating by 8 pounds, breaking at 1,831. The failure point on the Rhino USA was the strap. I couldn't locate the brake strength rating for the Auto Retract. The Auto Retract stretched quite a bit more than the other brands before finally letting go at 1,730 pounds. Throughout the test, the Auto Retract was making all sorts of noises, but the failure came at the S-hook. I had to use a much larger scale for the Topsky brand since the other scale only has a 2,000 pound rating. I've attached a safety rope to pretty much every part that could fly loose. And the Topsky did an amazing job, stretching only about 5 or 6 inches, and it finally broke at 3,185 pounds. Very impressive. And the strap just snapped in two. Up next, let's test the working load of each brand to see how much they stretch after 5 minutes. Since all of the brands have a working load of at least 300 pounds, I'll tighten down the ratchet strap until it's pretty close to 300 pounds, and we'll see how much tension loss occurs after 5 minutes. And the Husky started off at 324 pounds and quickly began releasing tension. After 5 minutes, it dropped 77 pounds down to 247. The Haulmaster started out at 314 pounds and only dropped to 268, which is a loss of 46 pounds. The RPS Outdoors started out at 305 pounds and really struggled with a loss of 85 pounds of tension in only 5 minutes. Stanley started out at 285 pounds and did the best yet with a loss of only 44 pounds. And the Rocket started out at 277 pounds and did by far the best yet, only dropping 18 pounds to 259. The Topsky started out at 319 pounds and did very well, only losing 23 pounds of tension in just 5 minutes. The Fortem started out at 291 and didn't do quite as well as the Rocket or the Topsky with a loss of 33 pounds. The Augo started out at 311 pounds and dropped to 271 for a total loss of 40. The Rhino started out at 337 and did nearly as well as the Augo with a total loss of 47 pounds. The Auto Retract started out at 309 pounds and really struggled with a loss of 76 pounds of tension. So the Rocket came out on top at 18 pounds, but the Topsky was a close second at 23. Fortem finished third at 33, Augo 40, and Stanley 44. All of the brands experienced the most tension loss in the first 30 seconds. So if you only consider the tension loss after the first 30 seconds, the Rocket only lost 8 pounds during the final 4.5 minutes of the test. Once again, the Topsky came in second with a loss of 11, Auto Retract 13, and the rest of the brands lost between 14 and 19 pounds. So the main takeaway for me is to wait 30 seconds after tightening a ratchet strap and then reapply one more notch of tension. Trying to release the tension from ratchet straps can be very challenging. Hey Cousin Eddie, how's it going? I need some help on something. This ratchet strap here is stuck, man. I can't seem to get it loose. Can you help me out? You want to do what? That doesn't sound like a very good idea, but we'll do it anyway. So let's see how much weight I need to apply to unwind each of the brands. The Husky takes quite a bit more effort than a lot of the other brands at 9.2 pounds. The Hallmaster did quite a bit better than the Husky with only 4.4 pounds. Just like the Hallmaster, the RPS Outdoors is very easy to work with, releasing at only 4.4 pounds. The Stanley performed nearly the same as the Husky at 9 pounds. The Ratchet is by far the best so far, letting go at only 2.2 pounds. The Topsky released at 4.4 pounds, the same as the Hallmaster and the RPS Outdoors. The Fortem let go at 6.4 pounds, which is slightly more weight than average. The Augo performed nearly the same as the Fortem at 6.6 pounds. The Rhino USA needed 9.8 pounds to unwind. So the Ratchet came in on top at 2.2 pounds, and the Hallmaster, RPS Outdoors, and Topsky finished in a three-way tie for second at 4.4 pounds. I applied the aggressive rusting agent several times over the last 48 hours, so let's take a closer look at each brand. I really like the Ratchet straps that use the zinc coating instead of the painted surface. The painted surfaces unfortunately just don't do a very good job at blocking rust. There's quite a bit of corrosion on the painted areas of the Husky, but there isn't any visible corrosion on the zinc-coated parts. Very little, if any, corrosion beginning on the spring. The Husky definitely did a lot better job than the Harbor Freight Hallmaster at preventing corrosion. There's quite a bit of corrosion on pretty much all the parts, including the spring. The Husky definitely seems to have done a better job than the RPS Outdoors, but the RPS Outdoors definitely seems better than the Hallmaster. The painted as well as the plated surfaces both have rust as well as the springs. There's definitely more rust on the Stanley than there is on the Husky. Pretty much all the painted surfaces have a small amount of corrosion beginning. The amount of corrosion on the Ratchet seems to be about the same as the Stanley. There's a small amount of rust beginning on the pulley as well as pretty much all of the other parts. Instead of using paint throughout, the Topsky uses a zinc coating which seems to have done a little bit better job than most of the other brands. There is a small amount of rust on some of the parts. The amount of corrosion with the Fortem is about the same as the Ratchet, definitely not as good as some of the other brands. The Augo definitely seems to have done the best so far. There's a very small amount of corrosion beginning on the springs, but other than that, the Augo looks really good. The only part on the NRS that's likely to rust is this little spring, and there's no visible signs of rust. The amount of corrosion on the Rhino USA springs is far worse than any of the other brands. The rest of the Ratchet strap seems to have done about average. The protective coating on the Auto Retract did a very good job, no visible signs of corrosion. There's lots of ways to store these when you finish using them. A simple way that works well for me is to start with the handle side facing down. Then feed the strap from the top down through the drum. Leave about 10 inches and then begin rolling the strap. Once you're finished rolling up the strap, attach the S-hook to the handle and begin ratcheting until it's snug. So which brand is the best? I was really impressed with the Topsky brand. It's an extremely strong ratchet strap delivering over 3,000 pounds of tensile strength before breaking, and it also seems to do good as far as corrosion resistance and abrasive wear. I also like the Augo. It did very well regarding abrasion resistance and cuts. And finally, the Ratchet seemed to be a very good overall performer. All the videos on this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested. So if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care, and I look forward to next time.